Today's podcast is going to be next level. This man has gotten over 1 billion views in short form content for his clients. He himself has gotten over 100 million views on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And recently, he got over 30 million views in just 24 hours. The clients that he's worked with Grant Cardone, he's worked with Flagrant, he's worked with Modern Wisdom Podcast with Chris Williamson, Jordan Peterson, Brandon Carter from King Keto, Cody Sanchez. He's grown over 7 accounts to over 1 million followers in under a year, which helped 32 accounts get over 100,000 followers, and has over 1,000 videos that have hit over 1 million views on TikTok. In today's podcast, you're gonna find out how you can go viral and get over 1 million views in literally any industry. Going viral does not actually mean poor conversion, and he's going to talk about how going viral can help literally any business and yours make more money.
As soon as I started doing it, it was like the videos just started getting way more views than that. It was like I posted a video and it got like 50,000 views right away. And I was like, yo, we've never seen this. It was crazy. I had one video get 1 million or 11 million views.
You got around 30 million views in 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a...
How would you apply it towards, say, my business? How could I apply it like that?
So in relation to how anybody listening to this could use this, you have to find...
Welcome, Ryan. Thank you for coming on, bro. I've already given a sick-ass intro, so we can just hop right into it.
Dope.
But one of the things that I want to start off the podcast from, I think is something really cool that you shared with me, was you got around 30 million views in 24 hours or something like that, which was absolutely insane for me to hear. And you did it with short form content, and you also posted like 100 times or something in a day, which is something I'd never heard of.
Yep.
So do you want to just tell us what that is about? Because that is absolutely wild.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a few things that we did to kind of make that happen. It wasn't a solo mission. I did have some people helping me behind the scenes too. So what it was if you guys follow the news cycle in any way, shape, or form, there was a huge hurricane. Hurricane Milton was coming towards Florida. And for whatever reason, I mean, it was just the most hyped up hurricane in existence. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've dealt with hurricanes in a lot of bad ways. They've destroyed 2 of my houses in the last year. So Milton was kind of special to me because a week prior, Hurricane Helene had destroyed my house. So we had purchased a new apartment to live in, while now our house we have to go through a lot of stuff with insurance, and it's kind of a big mess. But a week later, there's another massive Category 5 hurricane coming straight for St. Petersburg. And everybody was freaking out. Everybody was evacuating it was wild. And I was just so over hurricanes that I was just I can't stomach dealing with this bullshit anymore. And hurricanes have cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in the last year, to where I was fuck it. We had just gotten the brand new apartment. We were on the 5th floor. It was a really strong building. And I was like, this is probably one of the strongest places we could be. And it was me, my wife, and my daughter. And, my wife's worked in healthcare, since I've known her. We've been together 13 years. So she always has to work hurricanes. So we're used to never leaving. And, so I was like, well, we're pretty safe here. Let's just stay. Yeah. And then I was talking to Luis, who Luis, he works with me. He's worked with me
Yeah.
And then I actually have a guy who just recently started growing my YouTube channel. They were like, well, kind of collectively we were like, well, what if we just I did because I like the day in the lifestyle videos, and I was like, what if I just did an hourly update and we just see what happens? And I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah. So you basically recorded the hurricane live every hour and then dropped a TikTok or something. Okay.
Yep. So the whole format was every hour. I started at being that my house was destroyed from the previous hurricane, I started at noon the day before. Because the hurricane was supposed to hit at night, Thursday. I think it was a Thursday night. I don't remember. It kind of runs together at this point. And I went over to my house that was already destroyed from the previous, and I started telling about the story of what was happening. So I was pre-framing it, and there was no editing. There was criteria that I wanted to do for the video, because I knew we were probably going to lose power. Cell signal was going to suck. technically it was a natural disaster. So it's like, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was like, we can't do editing. We can't send files. So I'm going to do these one take, every hour on the hour, just updating what's happening or what we're going through.
Yeah.
And, as soon as I started doing it, like it was like the videos just started getting way more views than normal. Like
Yeah.
I posted a video and it got like 50,000 views right away. And I was like, yo, we've never seen this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And then it was just like every hour, like as the storm progressed, like the media was hyping everything. It was like everybody was watching Florida. And we were 20 miles from the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah.
And we did have over 100-mile winds. And for whatever reason, the apartment that we chose was like perfectly situated to where
Yeah.
like the door like blocked the wind. So I could literally record from my phone without wind, but you saw everything behind me. So
Yeah.
it like, and I didn't plan on that. Like it just worked to the advantage. And we just did a video every hour. And as like the night unfolded, like every time I did an update, like people were like texting me, like the videos like were just exploding, like, and then like during the, like, a friend of mine was like, yo, during the eye, you should go live. And I was like, what? Like, and literally the eye was going over us like 20 miles away. And I was like, this is me smoking a cigar during the eye of Hurricane Milton. And it was just like, and then it got picked up by national news the next
Hmm.
morning. I went on like two different radio shows. I was on News Nation.
Oh, that's
And by
sick.
the end of it, in like I want to say a 36-hour span, like we had gotten almost 30 million views. I gained collectively between all platforms like 30,000 followers. And I mean, I was making the videos for TikTok a little over a minute.
Yeah.
So I could try to get that creator fund money or the creativity fund money, whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah. How
It made
much? How
about
much did they pay? Yeah, I was gonna ask that
so
actually.
TikTok made a little over $1,000. Facebook was actually the big one for me.
Hmm.
Facebook Reels are about $2,500 in that 24-hour span.
Holy
And I actually
crap.
got like the way that the views broke down. TikTok gave me, I think it was about 7 million views in that 36-hour span.
Hmm.
Instagram was like 8 or 9, but Facebook was like 14 million or something. And
That's
and then
insane.
and then we were also, I was sending, so I would film for TikTok
Uh
and then
huh.
I'd post it to TikTok and Instagram. And then I would text the video to Luis was shortening it to under a minute so
Yeah.
we could put it on YouTube Shorts. He was uploading it to my YouTube Shorts. And then he was also posting to X. And he was actually manually posting to Facebook as well, because for whatever reason, Instagram was not sharing to Facebook, which usually happens. I think it was probably during like cell
Yeah. And it
reception
was
or
something.
something.
And it was something like you did 22. You did like
Yeah.
22 TikToks, right? And then you
Yeah.
posted those 22 in one day, and then you also then posted those 22. Can you just break down
Yeah.
how many? So how many total you dropped, and then how many you dropped on each platform?
Yeah, so it was 20, I think it was 20 actual updates over the course of 24 hours. So every hour for 20 hours.
Hmm.
And then it was like the two from like the live news feed. And then we did two long form YouTube videos. So the strategy was like, so we'll say 22 videos posted to TikTok, 22 videos posted to Instagram, 22 videos posted to YouTube Shorts, 22 videos posted to X, 22 videos posted to Facebook Reels. And then I filmed a couple separate like update videos horizontally for long form. And then those videos went to my YouTube guy, and there was two long form videos posted to YouTube long form over the course of
Understood.
24 hours. So it was like, I
Jeez,
think it was like
wow,
102 or 104 videos in 24 hours.
that's crazy. And you posted on all the platforms. Okay. Now,
Yeah,
let's say
everywhere.
that a lot of people, so I will use this session in two ways, like us talking. One is selfishly for me because I'm like, I could get free coaching. Two, I would want to use it for my audience because a lot of them they're creators and then they also want to build stuff
Mm-hmm.
and they're business owners. And so I want to see how they could apply it towards them because I also would like to see how I could apply it towards me. So I love this idea. When you even told me on the phone, I was like, holy shit, this is wild. Like, what the fuck? I want to know how you did this. But then I was sitting there and thinking, well, if it's not a hurricane, how does it apply? Like, is there something I could do within my business? Because my business is a software business. And we talk about AI tools and things like that. And I'm like, how could I drive traffic to my software? Maybe is there something news related that I could cover? You know, maybe every hour I'm dropping something on ChatGPT's new stuff coming out or OpenAI talking about something or whatever. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, how would you apply it towards, say, my business? How could I apply it like that?
Yeah, I mean, it all came down to like, I mean, the things that made it work was, one, it was like obviously it had massive popularity. Like the news
Yeah.
cycle was pushing it. So like, in relation to how anybody listening to this could use this, like you have to find something,
Hmm.
and I'm not, and it, this probably isn't going to happen often. Like you got to kind of
Yeah.
look for these, like, and they're like events. Like in this case, the hurricane was an event, and same thing with you. It's like whenever, like, let's say there is like an open eye, there's a huge like Chat GPT release, or like something like detrimental to like the stock market that could have like huge, like obviously with the election, Bitcoin exploding, like that could be a good thing. Like
Yeah.
had you kind of, and I mean, you do kind of take risk here, because like had you started covering the fact that like you have to start a little before, and I think that was like the
Uh,
success, like because
interesting.
there was like a storyline of like, so even before the hurricane started getting crazy,
Yeah.
I already had like 10 videos posted.
Did each of your
So
videos have a hook, or was it like video
yeah,
two was like part two and then part three? Like how?
Let me share my screen and I'll show you. I'll just pull it up so you can see it. Perfect. So here was like, so this was the start of, so hurricane. So I was titling the videos, like this was the first video posted,
Uh
Hurricane
huh.
Milton update number 1 from St. Petersburg. Like I just put that text box and title on every video, and I wanted there to be an update. So the idea here is obviously, as you're covering this throughout the night, you don't know which videos people are going to be seeing. So if
Yeah.
there's like a number in there, they can, oh, this is like a series. There's a reason to go back to the profile and start binging the content, and that worked like really well.
Interesting.
Um,
Yes.
and I mean, there wasn't, and then I also, if you listen, I mean, I don't, you can go back and listen to these. I said I was basically speaking it too. Hurricane Milton update number two. There's like 2 videos where
Interesting. Yeah.
I said the wrong update number.
That's
But
funny.
I mean, but as you can see, like the night just started, so we had like
262,000.
262.
How quickly did you know that this started to gain momentum and views? Like when you posted it, was it like within like 10 minutes you already knew?
Yeah, it was really quick. I don't know, like and again, I kind of checked out too. Like it wasn't until like video 10 that I realized, oh, we have a, because like I was getting repeat people coming back and commenting, and I started seeing the
Eh.
comments of like I'm so invested in this, I'm so invested in this, like I can't believe you,
Damn.
like, so I started seeing those comments right away. So it was like,
Yeah.
and I had friends and family from other states that were like, I kept checking back every hour for your update. Like,
Oh, wow.
so
Jeez.
yeah. And it was
My
like once I
goodness.
kind of knew that was happening, I didn't want to stop. So it was like,
Damn.
but, and I mean everything was identical.
Bro,
Hurricane
you should become a
262.
journalist. That would be sick.
I don't know if I want to go that far.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But as you can see, the views progress, like 683, 1 million,
Mhm.
80, 164, 62, 72, 68, 268, 107, 47,
Yeah.
150, 379. Like, and it was just like every video, and it took a while. Like they were all pretty like even,
Uh
but then
huh.
certain ones just took off more than others. Like this one got a million, the
Yep.
number 4.
Yep.
And then if you go to like my Facebook, like it was crazy. I
Yeah.
had one video get a million or 11 million views, and on TikTok it was very similar too. Like it's like we knew that like we weren't going to be able to know which video was going to like pop off and which didn't. Give it a second. Yeah. So here we go. So we can go scroll down.
Does it have a sort button or no?
It's populating.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just taking a second. Yeah. So so here, this is the first one here with
Yeah.
41,000 views, and
Uh
then
huh.
video 2 got 11 million.
Holy crap. And that same video on TikTok got how many?
On
If
TikTok,
you
I believe
like,
that
it
one didn't
wasn't
do good
that
on
much
TikTok.
actually. It was like when I remember, it was like something like 50,000 or something like that. It
Yeah, I think it
wasn't
was like
like
50 or 60,000 on TikTok, but that one got almost a million
Jesus.
on Instagram.
So
Like,
that tells me that if you're making content, like you need to post it on all platforms because that's the easiest, biggest win you could have. Like I could have a video that has 30,000 views on my TikTok, but could get 5 million views on Facebook.
yep, you don't know where they're going to come from and when they're going to come. Like, so this one also got 768. This is after everything. So this is like the last update.
Uh huh.
Um, like, and then I did this one at like, this was like a forgotten video because I had a trailer that got flooded. So like that one got 250. Like, I mean, but it just stacked up. Like everything was just like over
That's
the
wild.
course, yeah, like over the course of that 24-hour span, like everything, like the Instagram was kind of the craziest because it was like my phone was like there was so many comments and shit coming in. It was like my phone was hot, like
Oh, jeez.
like, and then I did go live. Like I went live, and there was like 5,000 people on live because I put live from the eye of Hurricane Milton, and it was like people were just like, and I went live for like 30 minutes, I think, like just standing outside, and then like little
Jeez.
things like took off, like, but I was also doing shit that I knew would trigger people too, which is, not only was it triggering that I didn't evacuate because a lot of people had their opinions saying that I was a
Hmm.
psychopath and all this shit. I knew, like, I parked my car, like we have a parking garage in the apartment where I'm staying, and it's only a one floor garage,
Yeah.
but I knew because I learned how to read tide charts that the garage wasn't going to flood.
Oh,
So I
shit.
parked my car in there, and I was the only car in there. And so I made a thing like, I don't know if my car flooded. I don't know if my car flooded. So like I was talking about that throughout the night. So then like, and then I would do updates with the car, and all the updates with the car on TikTok got a million views.
Yeah.
And it was
That's sick. So you're
and a,
keeping them hooked. Like they want to know if your car flooded or not. Yeah, that's
mhm.
strategic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like, and I mean honestly, I didn't know if it was going to flood. I just had a good
Yeah,
idea that
because
it wasn't. So
yeah.
but I feel like I would have gotten more views if it did flood. So in hindsight, I kind of wish it did.
Yeah.
But But the but yeah, and then it was also some things like I knew, floodwater and being barefoot in floodwaters, like people have opinions about that. So whenever I went and checked on my car, I was barefoot. I did it on purpose. I, I literally walked down there in like my Tiva sandals, and then I took them off and went barefoot. Like, and that was partially because it's a brand new parking garage. There was only like 6 inches of water. Like I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna be fine. Like, but if you look at the comments on those videos, like that was like people were definitely triggered.
That's crazy. Um,
So, but yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, back to like, I mean, cover it. It is like a journalistic style of an approach, and if I were like, you just got to find something that's very popular in the news cycle, and then you do like a 24-hour coverage of it. And I mean, we didn't really. I mean, I did sleep. Like we stayed up for like it was like 20 almost 24 hours straight to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was like
I mean, that
and
could
again.
30, like when I'm thinking about this, I'm like 30 million views could change a entire business's life.
Mhm,
Like, for example, getting 1 million views on a video recently, that brought in $100,000 in cash for our business. And
mhm.
I'm thinking about it and I'm like, man, if there was a news AI coverage that I started doing at some point, maybe some hot topic on AI, this is what's happening. And I started dropping content by the hour. It
Mhm.
might not generate, let's say, 30 million views, but if it got even 1 million views or like 3 million views, I mean, that might pay the expenses for my entire business, like for the entire year for my business, like $300,000, $200,000. So yeah, that is absolutely massive when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, no, there's definitely ways to capitalize on it. I mean, even if you did like, you know, 20 or so like updates on like a current event, like I don't know how you could lose at that. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean there is the argument of like obviously, I sell content services, like I have an agency, I have a personal brand. So it's like, yes, where all of the like, all the followers I got, the views, like how can I equate that to an immediate ROI for my business? I can't. But I'm
Yeah.
on this pod, I'm talking to you. You have a big follower, you have a
Correct.
big company. I don't
Yeah.
know where this interview, but because I did it, I got this. I
Yes.
did get a little bit of money from the creativity fund and Facebook Reels. Like so like that's something. I'm not gonna, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if I knew I'd make 3 grand every 24 hours by posting 20 videos, I would probably post 20 videos every 24 hours. So like there
Yes.
was, in looking back, like it's hard to say that and the crazy thing for me though is it also teaches you a lot about culture and like cycles of things.
Yeah.
Like we have an editing company,
Yeah.
like, and we work with really large creators, and a lot of our creators, and myself included, are call us perfectionists of how our content looks. But
Mhm.
because of the nature of the circumstances, I shattered a lot of myths that I thought were true just with myself. Because I'm like, yo, we need to have beautiful subtitles, or we need to have like, really fancy edits, or we need to have a good hook. Well, it's like, if you go back to all the videos that did well, there was no hooks, there was no subtitles.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
so it kind of allowed, it was like refreshing to know that like, okay, I can't just open up my phone and get views. It might not happen every time. In
Fuck.
this case,
That
you know,
that
that
is
was
a little
freeing for me.
refreshing. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
like
Okay, so sorry, continue. I don't want to stop you, but I do have thoughts on this that I actually would like to talk about.
yeah. Well, and another thing too is like we put a lot of limiting beliefs on ourselves when it comes to our content. Like, I mean, oh, I can't post too much. I need to let my post breathe. Or what is a
Yeah.
good time for posting? Like, is there a
Yeah.
perfect post time? Do I need hashtags? Do I need, do I need to have a really great hook? Or like, do subtitles matter? Well, it's like in 24 hours, I basically realized that none of that mattered. You know,
Yeah.
if you're, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't help, but if you strip everything away from all the videos, like we've created thousands of viral videos and gotten billions of views and millions of views on singular videos, like
Yeah.
the video, whether or not it was edited perfectly or had good subtitles or had a great little piece of B-roll or a picture, inherently it's a great video. It was probably going to
It
get the
is.
views regardless. And that was it kind of proved to me. And it's also something that I can now share. Like when I'm closing clients and when I'm talking to clients, for me, it's like, hey, I know you're really worried about posting your video every day at 6 p.m. or like 9 a.m. because you think that that's where Instagram says your followers are. But I just want to tell you a story about how I got 30 million views in 24 hours.
That's sick.
And, like, so
Yeah.
for me, it was just like, you know, it was worth it on a lot of fronts. And like, it also just kind of, I can tell people like
Yeah.
if you're having limiting beliefs about that stuff, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's really crazy. I want to put it into perspective. My channel, Clever Programmer, that I've grown over 7 years, and I have tutorials that are 12-hour long. I have 12-hour long videos that get like 1 million views or 2 million views. In the video, I'm like building Facebook from scratch, and another video will be building Instagram from scratch. And if I look at my entire channel, we have about 75 or 76 million views. And that's in 7 years, right? And then in one day, 24 hours, you get 30 million views. And so that's crazy.
and I mean, there is the argument though of long form versus short form, which
Correct.
I do want to say. You get 100 million views or 30 million views on a singular long form video. I mean, look at the election with the Rogan Trump podcast. I mean,
Yes.
there's no argument that one person listening to one person for 3 hours. Yes, a lot of influence is built there, and a lot more value is built there.
Dude,
But
go, 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 go.
yeah,
Go.
yeah. But I mean, if you're looking at it over the course of short form, like those people, all the followers I got and like the views that I got were people genuinely interested in me at that moment. So like, it's
Yeah.
hard to argue what is more, yes, somebody
Right.
listening for 3 hours is probably a better follower,
Yeah.
but the people that followed me were following because like, well, I'm convinced a lot of them wanted to see me get hurt. Like they're like, oh, I don't know if he's going to make it out of this. I can't wait to watch
Yeah.
the downfall.
I mean, but
But
that's why
like,
people follow Mr. Beast a lot of the times, right? They're like, oh, I can't wait to see him like buried underground for 24 hours, but he still sells out his shit,
yeah. And I mean, I ended up like, I mean, I assumed about 20% of the followers we gained throughout this would probably dissipate over the 30 or so days. And that really hasn't been the case. Like, I mean, yeah, I've lost followers, but like I've kept a large percentage of those. And just for perspective, like, my account, I think we're at 119 right now on Instagram. I was at like 108 for like a year. And it gave me like a huge 10,000 follower bump in
Boost,
24 hours.
yes.
And because you
Wild.
have a large following on Instagram, like as you get bigger, the net gain gets very hard to compete with because like you lose like 1,000 followers a month and you gain like 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000. So you're kind of in this seesaw unless you have those big spikes in views or
Yeah.
followers or collabs and things of that nature. So it's just kind of cool to see like that happened because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it was dangerous, it was arduous, it was complicated,
But it was worth it.
but it was absolutely worth it. And I mean, I would do it again, 100%. Like,
So I wanna touch base on the content side. So there was something we were about to get into that I found very interesting because it's a pain I'm dealing with right now in my life, which is I am trying to make content for the sake of getting the business to like $100,000 or $200,000 a month, and we're pulling all levers, because we saw this one TikTok with this one influencer work and take off, and now I feel like we're in like a casino trying to just pull every lever to make that happen again. And it's not like when I try to make content with just that in mind, I'm not having that much fun because I'm just forcing myself to recreate this thing that worked. And then at the same time, I'm distracted between either getting more affiliates and trying to like get this thing to work again, then making TikToks and getting this to go viral, or get myself to make a fuck ton of TikToks and my team to make it go viral. Like, if you were in my position, what would you focus on in order to grow like the revenue of the business between those two options? Or maybe you're like, there's some completely different option, but that's one of the things that I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, I mean, knowing some of the, obviously your backstory with the, the TikTok going viral and you guys making a lot from one TikTok, I think that's like, I don't think you can, if you can do volume, and if you just look at Gary Vee, I mean, I don't always agree with everything Gary Vee says, but like, if you can hit the ball 100 times, you stand a statistically mathematical chance of beating somebody who can only hit the ball 20. Like that, it's just volume. So, with that, and that, kind of the hurricane experiment or case study, whatever you want to call it, proved that. Like, we won based on sheer volume. And now, obviously, there's a sustainability standpoint that needs to be factored in of like, how much can I sustain? And also, who's going to be the one doing this? If it's like, you being the face of the company, you being the videos, if it's you doing UGC types of content, you paying somebody else. There's a lot of factors, but I like to look at it from like, what can I control? Like, you own the company, your partner's in the company with your partner. Like, you can make videos and he can make videos. That's a given. Like, there's no real negative about that, in my opinion. Like, you guys both are partners in the company, own the company. Like, you believe in the product. You arguably make the best videos about
how many videos should we make per day, you think? Like, if we were to go psycho mode, me just between me and my partner.
I mean, if you do 3 a day and your partner does 3 a day, I think, and you sustain that for 90 days, you would, like, things would happen. Like, and that's, but then there's also, then the problem that creators have and business owners have is like now they complicate that process. Okay. So it's like, okay, so to do 3 videos a day, we need to, obviously you are running a company. You also have another whole personal brand, Clever Programmer, and your partner's got his partners in the company and he's got his personal brand. You guys all have other shit going on. So you got to bring in another person, which in this case is an editor. So now the more complicated the edits get, the slower the editor edits.
Yes.
So if you want fancy videos, then you can't do as many edits, and then you get less times at bat, and then if you want more videos, you have to let the reins go on the creative control, and more volume has to come out. And this is something, it's like a teeter-tottering balance that everybody, even myself, like, it's hard for me to do. Like, I employ, I have a team of 20 people. Half of them are basically full-time editors. And it's something that, like, I value good edits. I value quality. Yeah. But at the same point, I just got to get shit posted. And because the thing is we're in a unique time right now, like with the internet. Like, there's more competition than ever, especially on short form. Yeah. Like, you're every second, like, and I have a joke. I'm like, no matter what, today is the easiest it will ever be to grow on social media, because tomorrow is going to be like infinitely harder. Because I mean, there's some like crazy stats. What is there, like fucking 25,000 videos uploaded to TikTok a day or something? I don't know. It's something crazy. But
Jesus,
every day that you don't post, it gets harder. And you see instances now, like, even looking at like, the Clever Programmer YouTube, like, you've been around for a while. You had a huge competitive advantage of like me, who I just started my YouTube going hard like 8 weeks ago on long form side.
Yep.
It's hard as fuck to grow a YouTube channel right now, long form.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if like, and then, I mean, even when, not saying it wasn't hard when you grew it, but it's way harder now.
No, it's way harder because I was doing this thing where I was on YouTube the other day, and you know how when you're doing hashtags on Instagram or TikTok, it shows you how many videos use that hashtag, for example. Mm-hmm. So on YouTube, if you do that, I put 2024, hashtag 2024, and it said like 11 million videos were found with that hashtag. And then I put the hashtag of 2023, and it said like 6 million videos were found. And then I put 2022, and then it said like 3 million videos were found. And I kept going backwards to when I started YouTube, which was 2016, 2017. Mm-hmm. And I kept going. And when I got back to 2017, it was like 170,000 videos have used that hashtag. And so when you do the math and you look at like 12 million videos now and 100 and something thousand then, 76 times more content was produced. This is a dumb way of finding out, but this year. And so it's 76 times as hard to grow now than it was then. And I just feel like you have to be so at the cutting edge of it with creators, talking to creators, knowing what's working. Otherwise, like being 2 times better is not good enough. Being 3 times better is not good enough. You have to actually catch up to being like 70 times better within a year or 2 years.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Like, it goes back to even like, look what, like, I mean, I've been posting on average, I think on my TikTok, there's over like 2,000 videos. And like my TikTok got
I'm
stuck.
gonna
It gets stuck.
here.
Okay.
I'm sharing the screen. Do you see this?
It's not yet. I think it's
Okay, so you don't see it, but I'm sharing your TikToks on my screen. The audience can see it.
okay.
And I'm sorted by, and I'm just like, yeah, you got 12 million views on this interview with this guy that kind of looks like Andrew Tate, actually, the first second I saw it. And then you have, Ankur Nagpal, right? That guy is 8 million views, 3 million views. So yeah, you have like so many videos with millions and millions of views. And I also wanted to show this. You have talking head videos with millions of views. I wanted to show this so people know that it's not just hurricane videos that you get millions of views on. Like,
That
you've
was
gotten
just
it on all
that was
types.
a 24-hour blip in my life.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. You were
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, but I mean, just to share, like, it's followers, like, you're starting now, it's significantly harder, and like I always put an emphasis on getting views, and I think that moving forward, like the competition, like it's getting harder and harder every day. Just like kind of the example you just showed with each year on YouTube. Like with short form, it's even easier to post videos. That's just like if you're basing that off like YouTube long form, it's significantly harder. But when it comes to short form, like volume, like there needs to be the person posting the video, there needs to be a level of like filming maturity, if you will. Like you need to
Yeah.
know how to talk. So most people
Yes.
have to get through a certain number of videos to even learn how to talk. Like
Yep.
that's why, when it came to my, hurricane videos, I knew that I could talk for 1 minute without breaking, and keep people engaged because I've made thousands of videos, like
Yep.
short and long. I've
Mhm.
spoken on stages to thousands of people. Like I'm very comfortable talking. And
Yep.
that is like a muscle that, like, if you give me a topic and put me next to somebody, I will talk for a minute and you will have a hard time beating me, you
Yes.
know? And so if you're starting out, like, and then same thing with like videos, like you guys, as in, for Poppy, making
Yeah.
video, you stand a significantly better chance of growing faster because of the experience you have from the 11 years of making YouTube videos.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Hmm.
and this is what I try to tell to like business owners and people that are starting, like, it's not that it's harder as a whole to grow. It's like you're not good yet, and you're
Yep.
competing with a lot of people that are really good. And
Yep.
like, and I was a very early adopter to TikTok. That was one of the reasons why I was able to kind of grow like I did. And I also was one of the first, like the first person to do a TikTok short form agency when nobody cared. Like,
Hmm.
and the reason for that was because I was early. So if you're early to a platform and your skill sets are good, you grow exponentially faster, you
Yeah.
know? And I mean, I don't know what the next platform is going to be. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting around hoping I'm going to catch the next wave. It's like, okay, well, I
Yes.
need to come in at this wave. And like we
Yep.
tell business owners and creatives all the time, like you got to make 100 videos as fast as possible. Like, and you got to,
Yes.
and they got to suck. And you got to push
Yep.
through that to even get to the point where you can speak a good video, and then
Yeah.
you're at like base level one, and then it's like, and that's why I like where we're at. Like I think it's much easier to get started now because, using my hurricane example, take out your phone and just focus on talking for 1 minute and post it every day, and do that
Yeah.
3 times a day. Compress that 90 videos into one
Times a day.
month, or 100 videos into a month and 3 days, and then you're like, okay, now, like, you just compress that time. And I think that people, you know are more worried about quality per se, and they don't even get to
Yeah.
that point.
Well,
Like,
right
because
now, go ahead. Go. 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 Go.
oh no, that was my rant. I don't know. I don't know
No.
where I was going with that.
No, no, I love that. I was just thinking that as you were saying that, I'm like, yes, I'm hyped to make content. Here's what's coming to my mind right now. And it's funny because I've been creating content for so long, and it's like, and I, for a limited time, ran a tiny version of like an agency, and was creating content for other people. And then I realized, you know what? I should just let Ryan do this. This is, I
Don't
should
do that.
focus on what I'm good at. I should focus on what I'm good at. But what I realized, so what's happening with me now is I'll be about to make content and then I'm like, oh, this would be really fun content. This is something I would really want to talk about. But one, I don't know how it would tie into Poppy, so it won't make me sales. And it also might not get a lot of views because it won't go on Clever Programmer. It'll probably go on my personal brand, which doesn't have any subscribers. And then I'll just like stop and not make that video because I'm like, we need to get to 100K like this month. And then there's other content that I could make that's like kind of soul-sucking work. Like where I'm just trying to reproduce a winning formula like over and over and over again. But that sometimes is hard because I'm just like, oh, it's fucking killing me to make it. So I'm sure you've dealt with things like that. Like what would you say to me? Because I know there are people watching that are in similar positions right now.
Yeah, I think it's like where business owners are, you have like, in my opinion, you have like creators and business owners, right?
Yes.
And business owners don't want to be creators because business owners see content as I need to make an ROI from said content. Whereas then you have a creator, like you started Clever Programmer from a creator's perspective.
Correct.
You're starting Poppy AI from a business owner perspective.
Yes.
Like, so you're unique in the fact that you have both perspectives.
Yes.
So if you look at what works, and then like you can use, you know, and in my opinion, business owners need to be content creators first, business owners second, and creators need to be creators first, business owners second. So it's like, because you need to know how to run both, but they both have it reversed.
Interesting.
You know, because creators don't put any emphasis on business, and business owners don't put emphasis on creating. So let that kind of sink around. But like you know, to move forward from that, I like to use Elon Musk as an example. Like a personal brand, you know, Elon Musk is a personal brand. Elon Musk also has Boring Company, Tesla, SpaceX. You know, you still remember Elon from PayPal, you know, like, so, but now you look at it, you're like, okay, so Elon going on a, you know, a political tirade and supporting Trump and going to the rallies, like that is all personal brand Elon.
That's
personal
true.
Brand Elon, you know. But then you have personal brand Elon on Rogan, who got, I mean, I think that podcast is probably around 10, 15 million views, maybe even more now. I don't know what it's at. But do you think just people seeing Elon's face are now like, I love Tesla, I hate Tesla? He's selling more cars just because he's being Elon.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, and then, but are you remembering Tesla? Does anybody, I mean, maybe they do. Did they check Tesla's fucking Instagram? I don't. Like, I know Teslas exist. I follow Elon. I see Elon on Rogan. I see him at the Trump rallies. I see Elon everywhere. Now it's like, now we look, so the more Elon bees Elon, he's going to sell rockets, robots, cars, tests. Like, I think that is like the perfect example of a personal brand. And then even taking down like Gary Vee and dissecting Gary Vee. Like Gary Vee is a media company. Like VaynerMedia and Vayner Sports are like very, very rich and wealthy media companies. Does anybody go to VaynerMedia's Instagram, or do they just know VaynerMedia because of Gary Vee?
Interesting.
You know, like I think that there needs to be like a business, like, and I was using this example because I have a friend this woman, she owns a coffee shop. She actually got 10 coffee shops in the local area here. She's awesome. Like she has a decent local following from her coffee shop pages of just people that share and like make videos for her, you know. It's very UGC style. She reposts them, and she's got I think 5,000 or 7,000 followers. But I was like, you need to be the face, like, and then your page just needs to be you being you as a coffee shop owner and somebody who owns 7 coffee shops in a very competitive area, talking about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Like, she surfs, she does all kinds of cool shit. I'm like, that should be your page. And then don't you think if you just have owner of at, you know, in this case, her coffee shop in your bio, that's not going to drive traffic to the coffee shop?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's very hard. You know, you can make educational videos, which is probably the soul-sucking videos you're talking about.
Yeah.
Here's how to use Poppy AI to break down a podcast. Here's how to use Poppy AI to research a guest for your podcast. Here's how to use Poppy AI to create an intro for a YouTube video. Like, you could, and I would probably tell you to do those videos. Like, those are going to be those videos that if you post, they might get 1,000 views on Instagram or YouTube.
Or like videos like this secret AI tool that's better than GPT at making content. Like, I've done those angles so many times. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it again, even if it could get views.
But I mean, you doing a video of let's use AI to break down Trump's inauguration speech.
Yes,
Let's
that
use
type of stuff. Yeah.
let's use AI to break down Kamala Harris's conceding speech or whatever they call it. Like let's use
Yeah.
AI to let's use AI to dissect hurricanes. Like
Yes,
these are
yes, yes,
videos.
yes.
Like I mean, they are related to AI, but at the end of the day, it's just like you're having fun using AI, and it just happens to be you own the AI.
That is awesome. Like that is an amazing. That's very, very exciting. Where it's like I can find a potentially viral idea, combined with something that actually excites me, because then I feel like I could sit there and do that all day. Like I'm at my home, alone all the time in this apartment. I could just be like shooting that stuff all the time. So that sounds really exciting. What you
Yeah,
just said, which is
or you
yeah,
could just make videos like that's in like, you know, you're a coder, at
yeah,
heart. I'm like a programmer, so it's like like day in the life of a coder living in like, and then you make a day in the life video, like
yes,
I think there's just a lot of power. Like, is that a slower process? Like because the argument is like the right viewer versus the wrong viewer, and
right.
like going viral is good and going viral is bad.
Because the developer audience doesn't convert like almost at all.
No,
So like
it's all your competitor.
I have a huge developer audience, but none of them buy the Poppy AI product. Like the conversion rates are like very bad, meaning like I could send an email to 100,000 people on my email list and we'll get like one sale, if that.
Mhm.
And so what I realized is like, okay, this product is not for developers, but content creators or business owners, high conversion rate, like over 5% conversion rate. And so then part of me is like, yeah. And I'm like, I wanted to find a crossover between stuff that's fun. And then you were saying do a day in the life of a developer. And I'm like, I could do that, but then those guys just don't convert at all. Um,
Yeah, what I wanted to say is like most people that are creating content end up creating content for their competition, and that's not inherently bad.
mhm.
Like it'd be like me making videos on how to make videos, and it's like I do those every once in a while, but those don't get me views.
Yeah.
Those get decent amount of views if I put a lot of effort and you know I hit but then I'm literally training my competition to compete with me. you
Yep.
know when it comes to like broad reach and what actually grows your business is like you need a lot of people to know who you are, and then
Mhm.
what people like typically content creators and like business owners, they get this wrong, is the algorithms are really good.
Yeah.
So to say like if you made a video talking about like you bought a new pair of running shoes, right?
Mhm.
Like let's say you made a video just because it was fun and you're like, I'm starting running and here's a day in the life of a guy who's running every day.
Yeah.
Like, and then let's say that gets a million views. Arguably, yes. Do runners have a need for Poppy AI? No.
Yeah.
But when you get a million views, what happens is 500,000 people watch that video to the end because it wouldn't have gone viral if that many people didn't watch it all the way. So of
Yeah.
those 500,000 people, this is where everybody doesn't realize it's like you're ads, so that's retargeting. So
Yep.
all those 500,000 people that watch your video start to finish, the algorithm goes, this person liked this video. Let's
Yep.
show them more of this person's videos. So
Yep.
now you have this huge back catalog of videos.
Yep.
It's person 400,050 may have watched 10 other programming videos in the past because they
Yep.
were interested in being a programmer. They just see some of your program videos. Let's
Yeah.
say you have like 100 AI type videos where you're talking about Poppy and things, and 500 or 1,000 people see those videos.
Yep.
Like the algorithms are so good, it puts your content where it needs to go. But
Yep.
most people get so boxed in to one type of person. Like I only make content for developers. Well, it's
Yep.
like, okay, well, unless you're selling products to help developers get better as being developers,
Correct.
but even then, eventually you will run out of people that want to buy your developer products because you're not
Yeah.
growing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen this, I've been on the internet a long time and I've seen this happen. This is why like I'm kind of like a lot of people say that I'm like an anti-niche guy. And I think, there's a lot of creators that are bringing more attention to it, like Dan Coe. He's a
Yeah.
great YouTube creator. Like he's kind of like an anti-niche guy.
Interesting.
Tom Noski makes a lot of really good videos
Oh,
talking
Tom
about
Nosky.
like
Interesting.
yeah, he's got a good YouTube channel and like Instagram following. And
Yeah.
what we're seeing is this, companies and products.
Oh
It's like,
yeah, I know
no,
this guy.
yeah, but they're just like, I make videos because I like to make videos about whatever I'm interested in. But this is how I make money. This is what I do for a living. If you're
Yeah.
interested in that, I can help you. But I'm gonna make videos about this tomorrow. Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah. So just like make videos on the stuff that I like because I love chess like crazy, and I'm always like,
yeah.
man, what, even if these go viral, like, what's the point? Like, how's that going to help anything? But like, I absolutely love chess content, and I could sit there and I'm playing chess every day, for a couple of hours a day, and I'm like, dude, so much of that could be content.
I think videos about how you're relating chess to life would crush. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, like, and I mean you gotta think about it, like, but also too, we have a thing. It's like you got to make content for your ideal demographic. Like,
Yeah.
what is your ideal? Like, if your ideal demographic for Poppy AI is content creators, right? Well,
Uh huh.
what videos do content creators watch? Are they watching videos about how to create better content? Yeah, maybe. But they're
Yeah.
also watching Gary Vee. They're also watching Grant Cardone. They're also watching Alex Ramosi. They're also watching. They're watching all these other people, and they're learning all these other skill sets. Like,
Yep.
you need to be up there, not the one teaching them about their thing. Like, they need to be
Interesting.
watching because and this is not a faster approach to, like, building a personal brand. I think is very arduous and slow, right?
Yes.
Because it
Yeah.
takes time,
Yeah.
and so like I early on, when I decided early on to grow like a personal brand, I was like, okay, I need hundreds of thousands of followers because that's like the acceptance of having a good personal brand. I needed
Yeah.
to be on at least like, two or three of all the five platforms.
Yeah.
I need some diversity. I can't just be a one platform wonder.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now the people that are going to hire me. So like, and I knew I wanted to start a business around this, and my business would be to have an agency helping others get views on TikTok, or
Yeah.
because at the time that was the new thing and that didn't exist. And I was like, okay, so to do that, if I make videos about how to grow on TikTok, like, Grant Cardone's not going to watch those,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Grant Cardone's going to watch a video about the best watch for somebody who makes $1 million a year if he's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
interested in watching. So my
Yeah.
ideal client, Grant Cardone, might watch a video about why a Range Rover is a bad car.
Yeah.
Like, now I started doing that early on and like interviewing people and making talking head videos and
Oh,
trying to
that's
branch
actually
out.
interesting. Like I can, sorry, I
Yeah, go
keep
ahead.
just remember your thought, but it just made me realize I'm like, I could even just talk to my customers and like literally sit with them on screen share and just like have them pull up their YouTube and just look at their recommended or just like ask them like what type of content they watch. And
Yep.
then if there's crossovers with stuff that I like in there, I can then start to make more and more of that type style of content or like ask them what they want to learn from me.
Well, I mean, you could do that, or you could just like, there's like the four buckets that'll always be popular, which is health, wealth, relationship, finance. Uh, I mean, health is anything fitness related. I mean,
Yeah.
it's safe to assume that everybody at some point watches a diet or workout video. So that's everybody. Um,
Yep.
Wealth, everybody's interested in investing in some way, whether it be investing in content, whether it be investing in their brand, whether it be investing in stocks, futures, coding, skill sets. Investing is always a thing. Relationships, everybody's always struggling to get a girlfriend, meet a girlfriend, make friends, talk to people, get married, have a
Yeah.
happy wife, have a kid, like, so
Yeah.
relationships are always going to be popular. And then
Yeah.
finance is like, everybody has a wallet. So if you tell them how to manage their money, or how you manage your money, or you budget, or you spend money, or what things that you do, those types of videos always will hit. And
Yeah.
everybody is watching those videos, like, and they
Interesting.
always
Yeah.
will,
That's
you know.
true. Yeah. That is true. Damn. So yeah, those are like the big categories. So even if I don't talk to them, I know at a high level, like, okay,
Yeah.
here are the big buckets that I could hit.
Well, you
Um,
could also, I mean, you have the capacity to talk to them. I mean, what I shared was very obviously generalized advice, but like, let's
yeah,
say you talk to 100 people from Poppy AI that are
yeah,
customers and happy customers, and you may find out that the top 10% of those. So out of 100 people, 10 of them drive a Ford F-150, like
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
or all 50% of them make over six figures per year, or 50% of them are overweight and out of shape. Or, like these are things that you could just,
Yeah.
as you're interviewing them, like, or I mean, honestly, knowing you just do all the 100 interviews, record them, put them into Poppy AI, and say, what are the commonalities of all these people?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's actually
you know,
good.
and then you're gonna be like, okay, well, they're all fat, they all are broke, or they're all rich. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some of them are balding. Like, they all hunch over at the computer all day, so their backs hurt. Like,
Yeah.
like, so
Right.
there's a lot of, you need to like look at the commonalities of like your target demographic, and that's where personal brands come in. But again, I think everybody right now is so focused on like, I need my content to ROI immediately, and that they don't focus on that, and that's where like you see people get stuck. Like,
Yeah.
and then most of what I'm speaking is obviously for short form. Like, I'm not an
Mhm.
expert at long form YouTube content, so I don't want people to get confused there. Like,
Mhm.
I do think, in my opinion, like long form YouTube, you do have to have a niche. You got to be very targeted, kind of on,
Yeah.
like, it's a very arduous
I,
process right now,
I
I
I
think,
would
to
say
grow.
like I just want to highlight. I think I like Rob the Bank and what he's doing with YouTube
Yeah, he's
a lot
crushing.
recently. And I like that he has a very simple, like, I almost feel like the meta on YouTube right now is almost going the reverse somewhat of like the heavy editing, really fast paced
Mhm.
stuff. And some of the meta right now is like very just like authentic, quote unquote, videos. We're just sitting there and like giving advice, which is kind of odd, but it seems to be doing pretty well recently.
Yeah, I mean, we're like, as I said, and I can say, because we post. I know I gave you some stats, like, when
Mhm.
about like, my agency and what we do. Like,
Mhm.
we post on average like between, like, I mean, 3,000 videos a month is about an average for us, like, to the platforms.
Jesus.
Like, because, I mean, currently right now we have like 14 or 15 clients. Like, we just lost a few, so I'm like, my numbers are probably off, but like, we'll say 15 clients. We post twice a day for like 95% of those clients on the short form platforms. We
What
post
kind of, can you just walk me through like what kind of posts are you making? So like if you post twice a day for a client, like what does that
Yeah,
mean?
I
Is
mean,
it
it's
a
a mixture. It's a mixture of. I mean, we've focused a lot. There are a lot of talking heads.
uh
I mean, a good
did they
example of it.
shoot it? Did they shoot it on their own and they sent it to you? Like what does that look like? I want to understand that.
Yeah, no. So we have two. Like, I mean, so we have two packages. Like, so we have a like I have a low tiered package, which isn't really low tier. It's 6,000 a month. It's for two
Uh-huh.
clips a day, and it's for podcasters basically.
Uh-huh.
So if you have a podcast and you're posting, let's say, one, two, three, four times a week. An example of this is Modern Wisdom. We've worked with him for a long time.
Uh-huh.
He posts his podcast. We get sent the podcast. We clip the podcast. It gets posted. We do two
So
clips a day.
you guys find the clippable moments
Yes.
and edit them. Okay, I
Yep.
understand.
And
Um,
then we have, like, on another spectrum, we have a Grant Cardone, who we've worked with for a long time. Grant Cardone has a lot of YouTubes and podcasts,
mhm.
and he has a lot of like talking head videos that have been made about him, with him. And we go down there. I mean, with Grant, it's a little different, but we try to get down there once a quarter to film
Uh-huh.
with him. And we usually film, like, in somebody like Grant and Elena's case, they're very busy, so to get like 4 or 5 hours with them is quite hard to do. So we've gotten pretty efficient, where we'll film like 100 videos in like 4 hours, and then we take those, and then we
When you say,
disperse
how do you
those
film
into
100 videos? You give him all the hooks and then he just
pretty
talks.
pretty much just topics, and we just keep them talking, like, and we kind of
Interesting.
direct it. With Grant and Elena, it's very unique. Like, I mean, and they're very skilled filming. Like,
Hmm.
Grant over Elena. Elena's still a little newer than Grant, but like, you just put a camera on Grant and he kind of speaks very well. Like, it's not
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as I say, like, we help a lot of our clients. It's like, we don't have to tell them what to say. We just kind of navigate the sentences, per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I
Prompting
mean,
them, prompt engineering them.
yep. And then that's the thing. So we'll come, another example of this is we work with an e-commerce company called Epic Dental.
Mhm.
Epic Dental has been a client for 2 years now. Their business is based off of going viral for the most part. Like, they have personal brands and they have an Epic Dental brand.
Mhm.
It's a husband and wife, Donald and Monica. Like, we make a lot of content for Epic Dental about, they sell xylitol based chewing gum and mouthwashes and things to help prevent cavities. So, but they, like, they're a $10,000 a month client of ours,
Mhm.
and we bulk film with them every quarter,
Uh-huh.
like 150, 200 videos in 2 days over the course of 2 days. And then we
Jeez.
bring those, and then we start chopping those up. We make them into videos, and then we post twice a day for them until a video gets 1 million views. Because when a video of theirs gets 1 million views, they sell out their Amazon store, they sell out their website. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Damn.
And then
Wow.
they take that video that went viral and they run it as an ad. Like
Jeez. Wow.
and then we keep posting. Boom, viral video, ad. Post, viral video, ad. Post. And they've been
That's
able to take their
fascinating.
business for the last. I mean, we were doing a little over 2 years, from like I think it's like 2 million to like 6 or 7 million per year, just off of that alone. And they don't have a
Jesus.
massive brand online, like personal
Yeah.
brand wise. Like it's a
And
husband and wife.
and it's their content where they're talking that's going viral,
Mhm.
or is it
Yep.
like UGC content that's going viral for them?
They do a little bit, like they of like UGC stuff, but this is them. Like we work with them. Like we fly, like we do videos with them in their house. We've done videos with them in their
Yeah.
like closet. We've done videos with them at their office and their factory.
Yeah.
We've done videos like, I mean, I have a lot of videos where I've interviewed them in Target talking about toothpaste and mouthwashes and like, so it's, I mean, pretty much they have a personal brand, but it's run through Epic Dental, and
Interesting.
it does very well. And then they have their own personal brand, which is like the Baileys, which
Yeah.
we do for them. And honestly, what works for them is parenting. But guess what?
Interesting.
Parents are very worried about their teeth and cavities, and so are their children.
Oh, that's genius.
So it's and we didn't know that when we started.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but that was like what that transpired over 2 years of working with them.
That's very interesting because, for example, that makes me realize that a lot of clients that use Poppy are people who self-diagnose as ADHD or have ADHD and neurodivergent. And I've gotten on hundreds of onboarding calls, and they will say those words like, I'm neurodivergent or I'm neurospicy.
I love that.
And
Yeah, we've made videos about that.
and that opens it up a lot, because a lot of them said that's why they even got it, because ChatGPT is too linear for them. And so I can even make like skits with me talking to myself and like, some ADHD stuff, and then push it to this AI tool or push it to Poppy. That actually is really cool when I think about that. I was going to actually say something. Oh, one thing that I just wanted to know personally, like, because I was interested in. So when I was actually like building, I've spent a lot of years building my own internal media teams, throughout the years, and then like reforming them and making new ones. Or then when I started the agency for a little bit, I had my own team. One thing that I found that was really interesting was the editor isn't always the best person at finding the clippable moments. And what I realized was the clippable moments were the things that would go viral and get millions of views. And if you just had editing skills but not the ability to find the right moments, like, you would suck no matter how well you edited. And so like one thing that I would do when I was working with like Bedros was like every morning I would just like have a cup of coffee, be going through his podcast or something, and as soon as I would hear something that was epic, I'm like, oh, this is so good. And I would like put clippable moments, and I would have like a notepad and collab notes. Then I would give it off to an editor. And then I realized, like, on my team, I built one person that was just like straight up like clipper, highlighter of like key moments. So he marked clippable moments, and that person wasn't even an editor. And then the other person was just straight up an editor, and they would work hand in hand. There would be rare occasions where the person who had the ability to clip could also edit. What did you find? I'm just curious about this.
Yeah, they're totally separate people.
Yes. So I was on the right track. Okay, cool.
I mean, we have, I mean, like I said, with the package, we have a mixture of like straight podcast people and then, direct to camera people, basically. Both are unique in like the preparation for them, if you will. The podcast people, like, they're easier in my opinion, because like we've kind of formulated. So like, let's say, podcaster drops a new podcast, that podcast is sent to, person one. They timestamp the podcast and go through them, basically similar to like what YouTube does when it just transcripts it and it tells you what is being talked about. But we have like a manual person do that. It's a VA in the Philippines. And then that time codes then get posted into person B. That person then clips everything from those time codes. Then a third
Interesting.
person comes in and goes, good clip, bad clip, good clip, this, and then
Uh,
they're sent to the editors. Like,
wow. So
and then
it's
this,
like a
and then the
four-step
person,
process.
and then that third person is American. They're paid
Uh-huh.
very
Yes, yes,
well.
yes, 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 yes.
um, and
That's
it's more
smart.
to just break them down, or that's what we're using right now, more to
Uh-huh.
just get a lot more volume,
Yeah.
and because we've just seen it, like even somebody skilled like a Modern Wisdom, or like we work with like Flagrant Clips, or we've worked with like Jordan Peterson or like Michaela Pierce, like even the greatest speakers go on, let's say, an hour and a half podcasts. You might, and I say might, get 1 to 2 viral moments from a good podcast. Like,
Interesting. Yeah.
now, and I say viral because like my viral, which I think it should be the industry standard for viral, is 1 million views.
Yeah.
Any less than that is, in my opinion, not viral.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
and that's not saying it's not a good video; it's just not viral.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
interesting.
you know, but that's what we kind of base our virality on. And to get one podcast with like 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 million view videos is very rare, you
Mm,
know. But to
yeah.
get one podcast with like, a 1 million view video, maybe a couple 100,000, and then a lot of like 50 to 100,000s, that's more, attainable. And you can usually tell those clips, like you get like this feeling similar to like, like that's a good clip, you know, but we've just kind of trained, like I call them media managers in my company. So like
Uh-huh.
a media manager is somebody that just manages the media. Like they
Yeah.
know what, and most of them are skilled at copywriting. So they have
Yeah.
some sort of marketing experience. They've edited viral videos. So they
Uh-huh.
know what it's like to have a video get edited and go viral.
Yeah.
They've, identified viral videos. A lot of your best media managers have their own accounts. They're usually the motivational accounts or Facebook faceless accounts, and they're
Uh-huh.
already clipping people and getting views.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
And
amazing.
and then also most of them, a good bit of them also make videos for themselves, so they're
Yeah.
creators.
Yeah.
If you can find those, like, all those skill sets in one person, that, if you're listening to that and that's you, by all means DM me. I'll probably
Yeah.
hire you. Like,
Yeah.
and the pay for me starts at around $4,000 a month, and it goes up from there with bonuses, and like, I mean, I have quite a few making 6,000 a month. So
Yeah.
it's that is like a super valuable position, way more than a basic video editor. And this is no hate on editors, but like, and I make videos helping editors, because editors get stuck in like, I just edit videos. Mine are pretty. I
Yes.
have good animations. I do this. And I'm like, that's great. That video took you 6 hours. It got 400 views. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
and
Yeah.
that, and that's why video editors can charge, there's somebody like me, like if we have a $6,000 package for short form and we're doing 2 clips a day, that the person receiving that is paying $100 per short form clip per day. Like,
Yes.
so I'm
Yeah.
charging $100 per video. I can get videos for $5.
Yep.
Like, I can get videos for $10. I can get them all the way up to 100. Like,
Yep.
and I can tell you, our $100 videos are much uglier than those $10 videos,
Yep.
but they get views.
They get
Right.
views, and that's the most important thing.
In my opinion, it's the only thing that really matters if you're a business owner or a company. And I know there's going to be the people that argue, there's content that gets views and there's content that converts. And I get that argument all the time. And it's usually the people that can't make videos that get views that tell you how important content that converts is. Like, so it's like, and I mean, that's every other agency in the short form space except for mine.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
nope, we help you go viral. Like, that's our thing. Like, it's really hard. We're expensive and we fail a lot. But when we hit big, you're going to get 30 million views. Like,
Yes.
so,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
mean, there is like I mean, I never thought of myself as like a math guy, but like there's a lot of math involved with like, if we film 100 videos with you, statistically with our track record, 10 of those are going to do significantly better than
Uh-huh.
all the rest. And of
Yeah.
those 10, 5 of them should see over 1 million views. And if we do that for a client every 90 days, and you're
Uh-huh.
seeing a reasonable follower gain from those 1 million views, and that's something we could talk about too, is like followers per million is something that we track. And
Oh,
that number has,
interesting.
like, so we track those numbers, the followers
Do
per
you guys
million.
track people's revenue? I mean, that's something you can talk about afterwards, but I feel like that would be something really good to touch base on. But continue your thought
Yeah.
process and finish that, and then we
Well,
can
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. Well, followers per million is, used to be when we started, like my original guarantee for clients when I started my short form age. This is like 3 years ago when like TikTok was brand new. It was much easier to go viral and much more predictable as far as how many followers you're going to get. So like
Yeah.
a good 1 million viewed video on TikTok 3 years ago would have net you about 10,000 followers.
Uh-huh.
So when I was like pitching and I'm like, hey, let me grow you TikTok, I charged at the time it was like $3,000 a month, which was like unheard of for just
Yes.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
nobody,
That's crazy. Yes.
you know, but I was like, I can guarantee you 100,000 followers in 90 days. And I
Uh,
knew to do that, we film together, we make 100 videos. Back then, 10 videos usually went viral because it was much less competition and much easier. And of
yeah.
those 10, I could guarantee most of them would get me 10 to 20,000 followers. So I just had to do that 10 times over the course of 90 days, and you got your 100K, and I had a
Yeah.
customer for life. Like,
Wow. Yeah.
and that's what I mean, we've worked with a lot. Like we did that. I mean, I shared with you prior to the intro. Like, we built 32 accounts. We've grown them 100,000 followers, and in some
Yes.
cases, I've seen that happen in one video. Like, but just now that number, and this is why I tell people like the best day to start posting is today because it's going to be way harder tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, like my followers per million, which I put myself as like a regular guy. I know how to make videos well, and I could talk decent on camera, but like I don't have a private jet. I'm not worth billions of dollars. Like,
Yeah.
I do normal stuff. My followers per million now is around 1,000 followers for every million views I get. Like,
Interesting. Yep.
I've
Yeah.
had videos, like some of the videos you were talking about on my page on TikTok, that netted me 40,000 followers per video. Like,
Jeez.
that
Yeah.
does not that Grant Cardone is about the same. Like,
Yeah.
the biggest creators, like, and the reason for that is, well, why? Well, there's a lot more videos getting posted. The
Yeah.
algorithms are so good that they keep showing content. If you watch a video, you're going to see another video. So
Right.
people are just forget, like they don't follow anymore.
Right.
So
And I
if that's the case, and I'll conclude with like, if nobody's following, what's the most important metric? Views. You have to
yes.
keep showing up.
Yeah.
Repetition of views.
I agree. Yeah, views are definitely like crazy important. And what I've also realized is how like specific that video is. So when I follow somebody now, because if I see somebody saying kind of something general that I like it was more generic, the advice, I won't follow them. I'll double tap the video and I'll like it
Mhm.
and then I will like move on. But if somebody's very specific to like what I'm feeling or what my problem is, I'm scared that I won't find them again and I will hit follow. And
And
I
you
think
still
so.
might
It's
not see them.
you still might not see them. Exactly. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
This the influencer for us that went viral and she hit 1 million views. I think on that she got 20 or 30,000 followers. Her TikTok went from like
Mhm.
40,000 to like 70,000 or something. But it's like it was very, very, very specific. Like
Mhm.
so specific because she talks about ChatGPT and Claude and like AI and this and that and the other thing, right? Kind of in the hook. And so you wouldn't even stay past the first 5 or 10 seconds if you're not like deeply involved in the AI world.
Mhm.
You'd be like, what the fuck? And so I feel like the follower counts, maybe because of that, that's just my guess. Because of that reason,
And,
it's probably like,
well, I mean, and also because I've seen the video.
yeah,
If you made that video, you probably would have gotten the same views, but you wouldn't have gotten the same amount of followers because there's a big
yeah,
difference between you and the person in that video, and that's if she's an attractive female.
right. That's also a big factor, right?
So
It's
like
like a
I
rarity.
I would hypothetically guarantee that 50% of those followers were just following her because she's hot.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, so,
That's a good, yeah, that's definitely like a
yeah,
big thing.
and that brings us to a point of like the person saying it is far more important than what is being said. You
Wow.
know,
Interesting.
because you know who are you gonna follow? Like, and we live in an age of like no trust. Like nobody trusts anybody on the internet. Like everybody
Yeah.
thinks everybody's lying. So it's like you have to show proof. And what is proof? Like, if you're a fitness coach teaching people how to get shredded, you better have abs. What
Yeah.
more proof do you need?
Yeah.
Like, and in defense of that, you might not be the greatest coach. You
Yeah.
might have had abs your whole life and never had to try. But
Right.
like we have a client, her name's Allie Gilbert. She's shredded year round, and like I know her, like I wouldn't, and she's a great coach. But like if you put her next to somebody else who I know is like maybe she learns from, I'm gonna be like, what? Hey, if she tells me I can eat Sour Patch Kids to get shredded, I believe her over you all day long. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's like
you know,
perceived.
and that's why you take somebody like a Cardone, or even like a Rob the Bank. Like he can make videos that are seemingly casual, but if he's driving in his Bentley, is that a casual video or is it a random rich guy in his Bentley?
Yeah. 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 That's
Like
true.
now you're interested, so it's also, I do think those things matter, and I don't think people pay enough attention to them, or that thought process of like, you know, yeah, Rob the Bank can do like a casual cell phone video, but is he doing that casual cell phone video in his mom's house, or is he doing it in his $20 million penthouse?
Right.
Like, so I do think things like that matter even more now. And that's not
Yeah.
saying you can't fake that. I mean, we see that being faked all the time. But I also am a big believer in longevity, as far as like, people might say your penthouse is rented for the first 10 videos, but if you have 100 videos where you're in the penthouse, then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe.
I think he lives here. Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah,
This has been way too long that he's been in that penthouse.
yeah. So, I
Um,
mean, I do think that stuff matters. Like, you know, and people should take that into consideration as they're, when they're thinking about filming. And like, if you look at even like what started at our convo, like the hurricane videos, like all the ones that have a million views, like two of them or three of them have my car in them. So I'm talking about cars. So they're
mhm.
looking at my car.
Yeah.
And then the other ones have the disaster behind me. I'm showing
Mhm.
disaster from hurricanes behind me. Like,
Uh,
and I did get
yeah.
one, and I think it was luck, where it was just me on my porch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I pretty sure that was luck. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, but it was luck because there was already 10 videos posted before that one. So,
Right. Yeah.
like,
Sometimes there's certain things that get luck as well. Yeah. But
mhm.
you're right. Most of the times there is kind of like a system to it, and it's not as much luck. Like even the rob the bank, like how you're saying, how he has a penthouse and then he's making a casual video, or he's always dripped out like crazy, And so you're just
Yeah.
like, damn, what the fuck is going on here? Like I got to listen to this guy. Um,
Yep.
I think that that's true. I wanted to ask you, so I think two things, the last two things. In terms of revenue, I know that's hard to track, but do you ever go and try to track? Because even when I was working with, the few clients I worked with, it was hard to track how it translated to revenue because
Mm.
they're building brand with those videos. Those videos is to get in front of people and impressions, and maybe some person because of that ends up buying. Well, how do you track that? And so were you able to figure out any tracking related things like that? I know with that one brand, Epic Dental, you're like, well, their views went up and their revenue went up pretty much from 2 million to like 6 million, which is crazy in a year.
Yeah. So I mean, it was easier for ecom. Yes, there. But even still, it wasn't like a hard tracking. Like it's still very
Yeah.
hard. Like, for context for those listening to this, like when I'm like bringing on a client, or I have a client interested in working with my agency, the conversation I rarely ever have with them is, how is this content going to make them money? Like the people
Interesting.
coming to me, they already have the mindset of like, I need a lot of attention and I will monetize this in some way, shape, or form. That's not your responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, I take that responsibility. I just need you to get me more eyeballs, because they've already,
Interesting.
like,
Yeah.
the track record is the more people they reach, the more money they make. You
Yeah.
know, and that's not saying, like, believe me, they all are wondering, because if you're trying, it's something like, if you're charging $10,000 a month, which is what we charge for our
Yeah.
services, there's an inherent expectation that comes with paying $10,000 a month. And,
Yeah.
I want to know that I'm making the clients money, and like
Yep.
that our service is worth it, because I feel like I'd be a piece of shit if I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
So it's, with that said, I do know, like, we don't really get access to people's financials. It's very, very hard to take a direct ROI. But I'll share a story
Right.
with you It kind of
Yeah.
like concludes, how hard it is to track short form.
Yeah.
Like, so we started work, we started working and helping out Cody Sanchez. Like she wanted
Yep.
more views on her podcast specifically. So we
Yep.
started clipping her podcast. And
Yep.
one of the clips was made by my guy Dre, and it was
Oh
about
wow. Yeah,
MMA.
Dre.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was like about jujitsu. Kind of a random clip, but we were like, that's
Oh,
a good
with
clip.
Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, there was a couple. Yeah, but this one
I've
was like specifically Yeah, like there was a couple of. But Joe Rogan shared that video on Instagram.
Jesus
Now,
Christ.
with that being said, how much is a share from Joe Rogan worth to you? I mean,
That's wild.
not only the views but the exposure. Like
Yeah.
she's never, in this case, like she's never been on that podcast. Maybe,
Yeah.
but now she's on Joe's radar.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like, could
Yes.
that lead to a podcast appearance? Maybe. I don't know. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of other factors that go into that.
Yeah.
But, it's, same thing with like, you look at like an Epic Dental. Like, yes, we can, we can't track it, but if a video gets 1 million views, it usually happens pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So you see a spike within like 30, 24 hours of like an Amazon store. So it's kind of safe to say that those sales, and then you see it like it declines as the video loses popularity.
Yep.
It's easy to see that, but it's like also too, like in their case, what is it like if, one of the videos that didn't get much views happens to get watched by, let's say Kylie Jenner, because she wanted to figure out, she was struggling with her baby, her son or daughter brushing their teeth, and they have these wipes called Spiffies. That's like teeth wipes for children.
Mm-hmm.
So then next thing you know, you watch a Keeping the Kardashian episode where she's using Spiffy wipes to wipe her kid's mouth.
Damn.
What's that worth?
Right.
Right. So it really is very hard. And I would encourage people, the internet's full of like blind faith. It's like when I started making content, I was like, well, it'll make money eventually.
Yeah.
And I mean, you probably started YouTube the same way.
Same way. Exactly.
Like if I do this, I believe in it enough that it'll work. And I think that's where I think more business owners, specifically business owners, should have that mindset of like, if I just make this video about my favorite cup of coffee in the morning, somehow it'll make me money. I don't know how.
Yep.
But I believe in it enough that it will. And I think that that's a mindset that more people should adopt, especially when it comes to short form content. Because let's face it, it's like short form is, you're dealing with this. I mean, you have a company, you know what it's like to make content. Like, you know what it's like to pay video editors. Like even if you're paying like a modest salary to a video editor, maybe you have like, let's say you have an American at $3,000 a month, and like, that's still $3,000 a month that you're paying for videos like that. You don't know if they're going to make you any money.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like, whereas take this rewind 7 years ago, you're putting 3,000 into an advertising campaign that you don't know if it's going to make any money. So in my opinion, it's like they are identical, but there's way more payoff with short form video because at least it's there and it will continue to get views forever, or at least as long as the platforms stay relevant. Like, which it's safe to assume that Instagram, TikTok, I mean, well, who knows about TikTok, but Instagram's not going nowhere. YouTube's not going anywhere. Facebook ain't going anywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure TikTok's not going anywhere either. We'll see how that pans out. But like, again, a lot of people are like, oh, well, people ask me all the time, well, you're like a TikToker. What are you? I'm like, I mean, I got more views on Facebook and Instagram than TikTok. So it really does. It's once you have the skill of short form video, like it's a skill. Like it's like working out. Like you don't whatever platform. Like put me on Vine and I'll crush. Like they'll make a new one. So I just think business owners should have that mentality over like how is this? Like I made a video and it's got to make me money. And like I also think that that's like a shitty thing to do to a video editor too. Like if you're like, hey, no pressure, but I'm gonna have to fire you unless this video gets 1 million views. Like,
right.
And it's like, is that my fault? Is it your fault?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you spoke it kind of shitty, bro. Can we just be upfront about this? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best, like so.
Yeah.
I just think that there's, there should be a level of mutual understanding when it comes to like, and then even what you said, like when you have clippers and you have editors, like I think content itself, specifically short form, it's kind of earned the right to like yo, we have to like pay attention to this and we have to care. And I think
Yeah.
that there's still a large amount of business owners that don't care. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, I have this guy. I got my front desk girl doing TikToks and reels for me. I'm like, like,
Right.
like,
Or people will say things like, we just didn't have the time. Even when I was listening to Epic Dental podcast and Naz and I were listening because you linked it to us and
yeah.
we were watching the podcast, and there was a point where Naz and I started laughing because they said, oh, we just don't really have time to do like TikTok or content. And I started laughing because I'm like, this is the same shit that we say. But then like you realize that it's the opposite. We don't have time to not do it, because if we don't do it, your business doesn't go from 2 million to 6 million a year. Our business doesn't go from like fucking 100,000 to 2 million or 5 million a year. It stays exactly where it's at. So like, if anything, that needs to be actually like one of the highest priorities. And one thing that Hormozy says that I love, he's like, until you do 1 million a year, he's like 4 hours a day on marketing every day. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, that simplifies it.
Yeah, and then you pay somebody to work for you for 4 hours a day on your marketing too.
Oh,
But you got,
yeah, hell yeah.
but it's also too like content's like the hardest thing, and I feel like you're unique in that because you have built a big brand on YouTube with your content.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard to like the amount of effort that has to go into it. Like it's like you have to have like this respect for the videos that you're making because it's like
Yes, yes, yes.
you cannot half-ass it. Like even
No,
on
no,
short
no,
form
you
now,
can't.
like short form now, it's like I mean, you look if you just dissect my hurricane series or whatever you want to call it, like essentially, I didn't evacuate in a disaster zone, and yes, I could have been injured, like my family could have been in danger, and it took that level of like commitment on my end, which to stay back and then do
Yeah.
100 videos. Like, it's
Yes.
like if I'm willing to put that commitment in to get views, then and you're not willing to spend a couple hours trying to come up with some video, like I'm going to beat you every time.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes. Yep.
and just like I mean, even like your clever programmer videos, like you put work and effort, like I coded Facebook from scratch, like that. I don't know how many hours that takes, let alone hours it takes while filming it and then editing it, so where it's like it makes sense. Like people just don't,
Yeah.
if there's creators like yourself willing to do that, then it's like, what are you going to do as a new programmer? It's like you better step your game up. Like you better take
It's
this seriously.
Yeah, one fun fact I wanted to share with you, but you won't be able to share that. You won't be able to see my screen, so you might want to go from your own computer. But I can verbally tell you about it too.
Yeah, what is
But
it?
like, if you go to our YouTube channel on Clever Programmer
Okay, I've heard.
and just go and choose. So at the top where it says videos, shorts,
Mm-hmm.
click where it says live,
Got it.
and then once you're there, just hit popular.
How to build a Netflix clone.
Yeah, these were all live streams, by the way. Every single one of these videos. So like 500, 600,000 views, 800,000 views. They were all of these videos were built, like all these apps were built live. And it was a formula. Like we discovered this formula, and the reason why we would do it live is because we wouldn't have to edit. We wouldn't have to export anything. Because like 6-hour videos, 12-hour videos, they get really weird when you're exporting them and stuff.
Yeah, no,
Um,
they do get really weird.
So it was like a really weird, funny formula that we discovered, and then we just do these lives, and we would do them in a way where it almost felt like it was a recorded video. But yeah, that would take a lot of
You're
preparation.
acting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, I
We
believe
would
this. This
still,
is awesome.
yeah, we'd still engage with the audience and everything like that, but we wouldn't do a lot of the things you do at the start, which is like, hey, how are you doing? Hope your day is going amazing. We would just kind of start from the start, the video. But anyways, I was just sharing this because you were talking about like effort and putting effort, for the videos and what risks you're going to take. And so, yeah, that would take a lot of time to do. One thing I want to also ask is like if somebody's working with you, right, and they're doing a day with you. I'm doing a day with you in December, which is like I'm so freaking excited about. What would that? Yeah, so like what would that look like for us? So like if you walk me through, what that day might look like. So I think December 5th we're going to be like working together. Should I prepare and come through with like, as many pieces of content as I can, and then, when we're there we like shoot. what would that look like in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, so the big thing would be like for you guys, I look at it a little bit different because you guys have the goal of selling like the software,
Yep.
or the Poppy AI. So it's like I want to figure out like in a day, with you guys, like how can we eliminate you guys having the need to hire UGC creators?
Oh, that'd be
Like
amazing. That would be
like
amazing.
because I do see you guys slightly more unique than a regular like personal brand walking into my studio.
Yeah.
So like just for what kind of the idea that I had, and like Luis is with me on all of them. Dre's now with us on pretty much all of these filming sessions. It's like
Yeah.
if we can help you eliminate the need, for the ability. Not saying that you need to get rid of UGC, but
Yeah.
just not rely on it because I know your story and like how and even as a business owner, and this is why I tell people it's like if if you get UGC, UGC is great. It's very relatable and people love it. But
Yeah.
if you happen to get UGC from an attractive girl who speaks really well, who sells the shit out of your product and gets
Right.
millions of views,
Yep.
well, that just became her product
Right.
because she is the face of that product.
Right.
And even UGC creators, I'm like, what? Like, just so you know, like, eventually you can't be the face for everything, so you're going
Yes.
to lose your market share value the more videos you make,
Yep.
so it's knowing that for you guys. It's like, okay, how do we help you create, and I'm like, okay, if we can create 30 really good videos that you guys
Yeah.
they can be posted, they can be run as ads, like they
Yeah.
can be like that's like my like short goal for you guys. But then
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
around that is like, I mean, you're gonna get a crap ton of videos, like because we basically
Yep.
record everything,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like so but to give it a little more structure of like, let's say if you wanted to come down for like, okay, I just want to make content for my Instagram, not really
Yeah.
with the Poppy AI as like the forefront, but
Yeah.
my Instagram. Then it's we do I mean, Luis is like a savage on. If you talk to Luis, he loves Poppy AI, so he's been using it to
Hell
research
yeah.
like. He'll take all your podcasts, put them in there, look for common questions, things that you answer. He'll look at what's currently popular on your Instagram. And like we kind
Yeah.
of just dissect all of your content, but it's also, you
Yeah.
know, we also don't really want to use any of that because
Yeah.
in most cases, if somebody's coming to us, they're not happy with their views.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, we need to kind of innovate. We need to figure out what is not being talked about that you have in you that we think will go viral. And usually,
Yeah.
going back to the first, the front end of this interview or talk, it's like, how much money do you have saved in your bank account? How did you save that much money? Like,
Yeah.
what's the most amount of money you spent on something? So it's like a lot of questions about like finances, relationships, health, like
Yeah.
more of the personal stuff that most people are afraid to share because they're like, how is this going to make me money? You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, for lack of, for time, it's like, okay, so we have a list of like 100 things to ask you.
Yeah.
It could be more, it could be less. And then that's just a framework to start from to be like, okay, so tell me like, like what was your first computer? Like,
Yeah.
how'd you
Yeah.
get into
Yeah.
programming?
Yeah.
And, you know, usually we do like, cause we have, I mean, it's hard to see on this. We have like, I mean, right now workable about 5 to 7 sets in my studio.
Yep.
And we could also leave the studio and go eat lunch and film there too. Like, so I really try
Yeah.
not to like lock people into, but if we do like 1 hour at each spot, you're talking like
Yep.
7 hours of filming, with breaks in
Yeah.
between, different
Yeah.
locations,
Yeah.
different outfits, and, let's say 10 to 15 videos at each location. Let's say we do
Yep.
more health oriented here, more finance oriented here. Let's talk clever, clever programmer here. Let's talk Poppy AI here. So it's like we kind
Yep.
of bucket things into those, and then
Interesting. Yeah.
just we have a framework. Luis kind of coined it. It's called the Annoying Kid Framework. And what the Annoying Kid Framework is that we just want to ask you the dumb questions that most
Yeah.
people are either too afraid to ask or they just don't, because most people, similar to like yourself, your partner, like very successful people we've worked with, like
Yeah.
you kind of operate at a level that's up here now.
Yeah.
Like I like if I asked you like what's the best programming software, you might laugh, you
Yeah. Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But like for somebody like me, it's like, well, I'm kind of interested in programming. Like,
Yeah.
like what software? Like, do I need a special laptop?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might be
Yeah.
afraid to ask
Interesting.
you that because I'm like, this
Yeah.
dude's coding fucking Facebook for fun. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like so,
Yeah.
it's also bringing your content down to a level that, hey, you're really smart on YouTube, but
Yeah.
guaranteed there's an 18-year-old kid who's taking a shit who's going to see your Instagram reel.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's how you got to hook them in. you
Yes,
know,
agreed. Yeah, that's a crazy top of funnel.
yeah.
Like I
And
love
that, and
that.
that, and that just brings, again, the goal is just bring awareness to you or your company. Like, why should I give a shit about this person? What can I relate to this person?
Yep.
And it's like, we joke because it's usually the videos in between the videos that we have on the list
Yeah.
are the ones that get millions of views. You know,
Mm,
and it's
yeah.
very hard to be like, because the goal is like, if we film 100 videos, like, we're still like, the absolute goal for everybody that comes in for a filming day is like, we need one viral video. like
Yeah.
so we got 90 at bats to get you one viral video. And
I
sometimes
love
it's more,
that.
right?
90 at bats.
Like, to get one home run is per se. And I'm not even a sports guy, but it's a good analogy. you know
Yeah.
but that's it. But what we figure out though is like, when that happens, we find that, you know if one video goes viral, you'll see other videos over the next, like, 7 to 10 days get more views too. So it's like the account kind of wakes up every viral video you get.
I love
you
that.
know
As you're talking about this, sorry, I just want to interject some thoughts before I forget them. As you're saying this, I'm like, I do love making a lot of good content around like, leadership or conflict resolution. Like that's something I love talking about in high stakes situations or, tips for content creators or business owners. And I think that as you're saying this, instead of like zooming in so much, like poppy, 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 I can zoom out and make
Mhm.
content on these broader topics that really excite me and I'm really passionate to talk about. Um, talking about broader AI in general as well. And so
Mhm.
things like that, because when you look at the buyers of even our software, Poppy, that's the demographic. It's like leaders, business owners, like content creators,
Mhm.
really, really smart people like Lewis, like hyper intelligent people, hardworking people. And so if I'm talking about these things, they'll resonate. And then when I decide to plug in a product, a lot of them will like want to buy. So I'm thinking
Mhm.
that as you were saying this.
Yeah, and that's too, and that's kind of the gist. It's different too, because there's different, like, we have that, like, we have like the offer. It's like, it's 10K. We're gonna guarantee you 90 videos, so you're gonna get 3 months of content if you post one a day. If you want to like hyper post, if you're like, no, I want to post 3 a day, then it's gonna take us, but you want to do it for 30 days, you can do that too. But like, for the most
Yeah.
part, most people want to, it's also a starter package to kind of get into working with us on like the higher level,
Yeah.
mainly being for both parties, because what you'll see is, if you've never filmed like a batch of like 100 videos,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like,
It's
it's like,
exhausting.
it is exhausting. And it's like, and we know, like, because for us, if we bring somebody in at like 10K a month and we're planning to fly to you every quarter, and we're like, we have to hit these numbers, or else, like, you know I'm breaching my contract with you, which says that I'm going to deliver 2 videos a day without fail. And we're going to run into all these problems, like that, could have been vetted if it's like, okay, look here, this is a one-time thing, like, let's film with you, because also too, you got to vibe with each other, like, it's
I
not
was
saying
gonna
it's,
say,
yeah.
I was gonna say, dude, like I flew in for one client. I'm not gonna name anybody, but like I didn't vibe with them, and it
Okay.
was an excruciating 8 hour long, 10 hour long day, and we made a lot of content. We made like I don't know how many videos. We didn't hit 100, but we made a bunch. 100 is
Mhm.
a lot. Like holy shit, that's amazing that you have dialed in your process to that point. And you said you were doing it in 3 to 4 hours. That's I'm just like
Well,
wow.
that's with some. I mean, we can get creative. Like, if we don't hit the number, there's
Then you
ways
okay,
to get
fine was.
creative. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like I realized a really painful process if you don't vibe with who you're working with because I was like I never want to do this again when that happened. So like
Yeah.
you ever had that happen where you didn't vibe with the creator and then it was like a kind of a painful process or no, not really.
Ye- Not as often, because again,
Uh-huh.
most of the people are similar to like yourself. Like, it's like referral. You're coming from, like, it's pretty well. I'm not doing cold traffic to get clients.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of, and not. I'm saying right now that works for me. I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
going to work forever, but right now I
Yeah.
don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So the people that come to us, the average person has hundreds of thousands of followers on like some platform.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they
Yeah.
already they already are decent filmers, meaning
Uh-huh.
like the thought of filming 100 videos in a day doesn't scare them, where they're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, I don't know if I can do that,
Yeah.
but we have had instances, like specifically one time we flew to Vegas, a guy paid for a day filming, and it was awful. Like similar to what you said, I ended up having to rent a podcast studio because I'm used to working with people that have very nice houses. Like, and
Ah,
maybe
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
you know, so like,
Yeah.
even looking at where you are right now, it's clean.
Uh-huh.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to it. I know this sounds super fucking bad, but I mean, like I've been to Grant Cardone's house. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I've been to, Alex and Layla's house. I've
Yeah.
seen nice shit. Like, and
Yeah, yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm used to. So when
Yeah, yeah,
somebody
yeah.
pays us like 10 grand and so like, let's do some content, I assume you have nice shit. Um,
Yeah.
so, I mean, we went to this guy's house. It was looked like a trap house. Like it was so bad. Like I was like scared that like, I'm not going to make names, but he showed up with like shirtless, like looking like he needed to take a shower. I'm like, yo, like bro, we gotta film videos today. Like what are you doing? Like I just flew from St. Peter's. Like I just flew 6 hours for this. Like I stayed
Yeah.
in a hotel last night. Like I'd rather be home with my family right now. Like what are you doing, you know
Yeah.
but I mean we
Yeah.
did. I mean, and to that defense, he did get his shit together. We did film a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
So it was like, but I was just like, it was painful. It was definitely
Yeah.
painful.
That's
Like
funny, dude.
yeah. I mean, but also too, like, I mean, I've tried even some of the best filmer, like, you know, in not like that was kind of a negative instance, but like I've
Uh-huh.
had, you know, working with Brandon Carter for the years, he was going through something and like I drove to Miami to film and he's like, bro, I can't really film today. I'm just not like, I got nothing. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, and then like also too, like you being like in my position, like, I need to make sure I'm good to even film with you for 6 hours. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to make sure
you
your
know,
energy is good and on point and
yeah,
yeah.
so it's like it's kind of a
Because
mutual thing that I don't. And
yeah.
again, this is stuff that's not really talked about much. Like, and if you ever hire, like, I mean, I don't think an editor feels this, to per se, but it's like a filmer. If you have somebody that's filming with you all the time, like, let's say you have like Gary Vee has, not anymore, but it was D Rock. If you have a D Rock who's with
What
you
the
all the
fuck happened
time,
to D-Rock?
he like I think he left. He went to work for himself.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, I know
That
that's
sucks.
crazy, right? I heard he
That's
wasn't
crazy.
paid that well. I don't know. I don't know.
Damn, losing D-Rock, man. That's crazy. That he was like the pillar of like everybody's my editor, my main editors would be called D-Rock.
Yep,
Um,
he's a
Curious,
verb.
who's the most impressive person you've filmed with?
I mean, there's so many people on like I would say. I mean, Cardone's pretty like it's just and he goes like and I mean I can't really edit this out. I mean, if you want, but like I mean, Hermosi was probably the best. Like he was fucking incredible. Um,
Uh,
but I'm not allowed to say that we filmed with him publicly. Um,
okay.
like,
Okay.
but yeah, like I mean, so you know, but for ones like that, like Cardone's awesome. Like we could like 4 hours of Cardone netted us like over 100 videos, which is like I don't even know if we could do it again. Like it happened, like it was like incredible.
Yeah.
What was really impressive is Brandon Carter. He's not as fast as like he's not like high volume, but like we give him a topic and he was funny. He would like stand up, walk around, do some push ups. Like he'd walk around for 10 minutes and then sit in a chair and fucking deliver fucking 3 minutes of pure gold. And you're like, damn. Like same thing with well, I mean, we filmed with so many people. Trying to
That's
think of
cool.
like, because like we spent a lot of time. I mean, I spent a lot of time filming with Brandon, like thousands of videos, and he always like impressed me with that one.
Wow.
Trying to
That's
think.
cool.
Uh, Louise, who's an impressive filmer? Oh yeah, yeah. We have a real estate guy, Nate Barger.
Uh-huh.
Um, he just doesn't shut up. He just goes like, and you're just like, damn, we've been filming for like 9 hours.
Oh
Like
shit. His gas tank is like crazy.
yeah, like some people are like, sprinters, other people are marathoners. Like, like I
Wow.
would call like Brandon's a sprinter. Like he rests up a lot and then poof, and then builds up. You know, like same thing
Yeah.
with trying to think like who else? Nate was good. What else we trying to think over the years. Yeah, Allie Gilbert. She's a men's health. Like she does like testosterone. She's really good. She's not as fast as like a Nate, like, but she's like really good on delivery. You
Ali
know, but it's
Gilbert.
interesting too to see like one thing we've gotten good with is managing energies throughout the day.
Yes.
Um, like the reason like we like starting at 10 a.m. is like optimal. Like people are
Interesting.
no matter how early you wake up by 10 a.m. you're kind of like ready to go.
Yeah.
Um, and we will get way more videos until like we encourage people not to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we'll just say fast, eat snacks like caffeine, like Zins, whatever you need, Adderall, whatever you need to keep going. Because the
Yeah.
second you eat
You
after, it's
slow
like,
down and you want to slow. Yeah, that happens to me too. Every time I eat, I want
yeah,
to take a nap or slow down or sleep. But if
mhm.
I'm fasted, I'm in like a really good headspace.
Yeah. So like when you come on, we'll be like we start at 10 and like we'll get lunch eventually because everybody does need to like you know, but we'll push it to like 2, 3. Like it'll be pushed as far as we can because you'll
Yeah.
notice like you know we can see it. Like, yo, he's dying. He's dying right now. Let's
Yes.
take
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
sec. Let's take a minute. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I mean,
Yeah.
I filmed yesterday for like I was filming for YouTube yesterday. I filmed for like 5 hours. Like, and it's like at the end of it, it's like you just feel like you're dead. Like you can't
Yes.
form sentences. You're just like, you know.
Yeah, the
But
energy is draining, and sometimes you're, especially like if you're doubting yourself when you're talking, then it's like extra draining. But yeah, it
mhm.
it does get like that. I mean, this is awesome. This is getting me really excited because I'm like, damn, that would be so much fun to actually just like take a day to just shoot, um, and maybe
Yeah, for you
every
guys, like I'm just excited, like because you guys have a lot of like, even you guys being on the Poppy account, like talking about like just AI in general, like you know,
yeah,
like advancements in AI, where you see the future of AI going, like how
yeah,
crypto affects AI. Like, yeah, I mean, there's so many, like, I mean, for you and your, like, there's just so many videos. That's why
yes,
it's hard for like, you know, for you guys because it's like you guys each have a personal brand, and then you have Poppy, so it's like
yeah,
it's very hard, like to like for this, it's like let's keep it centered to Poppy, and
yeah,
like,
we are,
but also too, just like I just have ideas on how to use the software and like show to where you guys can be like, okay, these forms of videos worked, and we can have multiple people do these where it's not broken.
yeah.
I just don't. I just fucking hate knowing that like UGC creators can hold business owners by the balls.
I know. I
Like that
just
just
don't
pisses me
want
off. I'm
that is
sorry.
yeah, that's the biggest motivation for me. I'm like, I don't want UGC creators to just like I want it to be where like yeah, UGC creators like it should be spread out,
Yeah, you
you know,
need them.
distributed evenly between everybody, and that would be a fantastic place to be. But definitely I want it to be where like we are crushing it as well, like as the creators for the because then we can just control that. And if we want to make 10 videos a day, we can.
Hmm.
Um, and we are just all in. But yeah, that formula works really well where it's like some kind of hook and then going into like showing a use case of how we're doing it with Poppy and then pitching the product. And if we can get it to work ourselves, like, oh my God, that is just
Yeah, that's the
gold.
idea. Is like, okay, what can we do here? Because I mean, you know, breaking it down, like I don't know what it's gonna look like, but like you know, hypothetically, okay, let's do like you know, each of you guys do 10 green screen videos about something popular with AI, and then
Yeah.
it's like then we do like no faceless, just you guys doing something with the software. Then we
Yeah.
have like you speaking, software showing. Like you know, so it's like we can
Yes.
break it down into styles of videos, and then it's just a matter of
Yes.
like plug and playing it and say,
Yep.
okay, hey, these did okay, and we can bang volume of these, but they
Yep.
didn't really go viral. But these go viral. But you know, like if you're showing like a use case, those are generally longer, more boring, so they're harder to do. You know, so it's like
Yep. Yep. Yep.
you know, so just seeing what like you know for you guys, that's kind of how I'm looking at it in the
Uh-huh.
perspective of like how do we do this to where it's like you know because again too it's like even the nature of having an agency like I mean it's hard because at some point like we lose clients like the only thing that we lose clients to is in house because
Yeah.
it does make sense for when you get to a certain degree it's like you need your own media team
Yeah. Yep.
like
Yep. Yep.
you know if you're relying on us to fly to you every quarter and that's the only thing you have
Yeah.
then you know you definitely could be doing more you know and
Yeah.
that's kind of like you know and I'm not afraid to say that because there's still an addition that's why like we kind of started this new the new offer, because we call it the viral accelerator package. And
Ah, I
the
like
idea
that.
is
That's
like,
sick.
yeah, it's like anybody at any time, like, yo, either we can come film with you, like, or you come film with us. It's cheaper, obviously. You come film with us because there's no travel involved. So it's like, and we have everything here. We have lights. We have, like I have like a green screen wall. We have like things set up to make it move faster so we can
Yep.
hit higher volume. But
Yep.
with that said, it's like, anybody can come in, just come for a day. Let's see what happens. Like I know
Beautiful.
that I know that you guys are gonna come. We're gonna get a million view video. Like I have no doubt in my mind that that's gonna happen.
Fuck yeah.
Like and like, and that's just my experience. Like, and if it doesn't
Yep.
happen, I'm gonna be pissed off, and we're gonna figure out why it didn't happen. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
because you know, that's what we do, and it's like it's fun, And
Yeah.
you guys have such a great. I mean, you guys like you have a good affiliate program. You have like for
Yep.
creators, it's like your guys' product is amazing for like just, and also too, it's like if you guys show videos that work, then you can make your affiliate area full of videos like that and teach your affiliates how to do it and go on and
That's what
make
we want.
like
Right. That's what we want to do. We want to like build an army of affiliates and creators and like do that as well. Because if we have a bunch of these, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, like these kids who make these faceless AI videos, like if they start crushing it and finding angles, oh my God. Like, I don't know if you know Tabs, the sex chocolate, where he used this sex
oh yeah
chocolate
yeah
and
yeah.
blew it up to like $10 million a year or something like that off of TikTok. And he just has like, he onboards these affiliates and UGC creators and whatnot, and then shows them a process. And then they
Yeah.
just start making content, and it's wild.
Well, also too, it's like, I mean, that's the incentive for, like we haven't really, I mean, we work with Epic Dental, but e-com is an area like most personal brands are coming to us. But there's just so much like with products and services, like more like softwares and e-com products,
Uh huh.
like because like like with you guys, like I'm not necessarily interested in like, oh yeah, I don't too much care about like the 10K, but it's like, hey, how
Yep.
do we make a lot of commissions for a long time? Like,
Yes, that
and
would
if we
be
have an offer,
sick.
like, and
Yeah.
if I'm able to like, hey, look, we did this for Poppy AI, and that's
Yep.
why also like, I mean, my agency obviously we think slightly different than most content agencies. Like,
Yeah.
I very much relationship based as far as how I operate as a business, and it's like, you know, I prefer not to have clients rely. Like, I'd rather have like multiple accounts, faceless channels, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
money
That
just
would be
happens.
sick. That would
Like,
be sick, bro. Like if we can, yeah, that we can figure that out. That would be amazing.
and then if it works for you guys have friends. Like, I mean,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
other softwares. Like, it's
Right. Yes.
it's lucrative. And I would urge like agencies and editors to
It could
think
be like
like
a crazy. It could be a crazy niche, like just for fun, where it's like software companies, like as a
Mhm.
niche. And if it really works, and we can get this to be a repeatable process, like what happened with the one influencer that we worked with.
Mhm.
If we get that to repeat, I mean, that could be like 30K a month, like 300K. We could be like a 300K a year client, and then if you have multiple of those, that's like pretty awesome. That would be so
Yeah, I'm
sick.
like, when you told me what the girl made, I was like, damn. I was like, I want it. I instantly was like, I could beat that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
so, but cool. Well, yeah, well,
no,
I got to run. It's getting a little bit late. I know you're in Cali, or you're in San Francisco, right? Bay
yeah,
Area, right? That's so
yeah,
software of you. I feel like to be in the Bay
dude,
Area.
it is. That's why I moved here, brother. Thank you so much for hopping on. Let's end it here. I think this was super valuable for people. And in terms of them finding you, I will put the link in the description, whatever, like to your profiles. But if you want to just tell people where they can find you, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, my Instagram is probably the best bet. It's just my name, Ryan Magin, RyanMagin. But chances are you probably will see my videos sometime in the future.
Hell yeah. All right. Peace.
Thank